Roll 'em. Hey, everybody, Tim and Bob here, or as Bob likes to say, Bob and Tim's Prep Talk. And
It doesn't matter which way it goes.
What's that?
It doesn't matter which way it goes,
Well,
as long as it goes.
I figure you're the one with more experience.
Well,
hey,
age doesn't necessarily mean experience.
Hey, before we kick off, I got something for you. A boom! I got one.
Hey, I should have brought. I have the same gun except in stainless steel.
Yeah, and Bobo here talked me into this. I like guns that do a lot of different things. This is a 357 Magnum Tracker by Taurus, and it also has a 9mm cylinder. And I was pretty impressed with the accuracy, especially considering that I had just bought a 45 410 Judge from Taurus, and I hated that thing because it tried to shoot 410 and 45, and it couldn't do either one. It was too short for the 410, and there wasn't enough rifling for any accurate shots on the 45 Colt. Hated it. But this, on the other hand, this has been a magnificent buy.
I totally agree with that. In fact, tomorrow I'm planning on going out and shooting my 357 up on the hill, and just doing some practice with it, keeping the edge sharp.
Well, today Bob wanted to bring up a topic that he wanted to talk about, and it's one that got my attention too, on packs. Now, were you mainly thinking day packs or long-term wilderness pack?
No, I'm looking at the get your butt home kind of packs. Something that you can take with you. Wherever you're going, that you have enough stuff in there to get you back to your house. No matter what happens, you can get yourself back to the house with
it. They had a term for a pack like that over in the Middle East.
What's that?
It was called being stuck between Iraq and a hard place.
I bet, and if you're stuck between Iraq and a hard place, you definitely need a pack to get you home.
All right, I'll keep my mouth shut and listen to you, Bob.
Okay, what I run is it's in Coyote tan. I like the nice neutral color. It's got regular straps. It's got a chest strap. It has a waistband strap, and then it has a compression strap that goes down the front of the backpack right here, so that you can take and compress your whole pack down to as thin as possible, as thin as possible. Then you pop this loose. I usually keep my stuff that I need immediately at the top, which in this pack on the top, I keep a Lensatic compass, for land navigation.
Now, what's the difference between that and your regular run-of-the-mill compass?
Well, with this, you can use the lens. You focus, you get your compass ready to go like this, and then use the lens on the back to focus in on what your declination numbers, which are on the dial of your compass, are. And you aim the top of your compass with a little wire at the point that you want to head towards, and then you get your compass bearing off of it through the little lens. That way you can get your compass bearing, your actual direction that you're going to be going on your declination, which I'm pointing at west at 270 right now. And then you're able to head towards that point on the horizon. You know, you pick a landmark that you can head towards, and then you keep taking bearings. You can also use it to triangulate your position from 3 known points, and then put it onto a map, and you go, oh, these 3 points at these angles, this will show you right where you are. That's called triangulating your position. And that's, you know, for that. My next item that I keep in it is a knife sharpener made by Gerber. It is a diamond steel, and it's got a piece on it that will, for sharpening fish hooks and sharpening, what do they call them? What is it called? The knives with the serrations. The serrations of the knife. I knew it. Yeah, this is kind of it. You take it and you flip it out, and it's just like a regular sharpening steel that you'd have in your kitchen for sharpening your knives.
All right.
Because a dull knife is just a piece of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I carry in that part. In here, on the next level down, in the next pocket down right there, this is where I keep my medical supplies, which I have a small first aid kit that I keep in a separate pouch. I'll get into that in a sec. I keep a rubberized band, which this is all rolled up, but a rubberized band you can use as a compression bandage. You put your bandage on there, and then you can wrap this around to create a pressure bandage to stop arterial bleeding. You can also use it as a tourniquet. You can take and wrap it really tight, and it can cut off the blood flow to where it's a tourniquet at that point. And that's just a little piece of, a lot of times you go to a doctor when you're having, when I got these when I was going in to see my therapist for an on-the-job injury. They gave me a bunch of these to use for strengthening and building up muscles in my chest and stuff when I had injured myself, but they work as a tourniquet. Next one down here, that is a more extreme, a little more heavy-duty first aid stuff, more bandages and things. But here's the thing that I really keep and just make sure I always have this. This is the most important thing when you have an injury or a major injury, and that is a type of blood coagulant. This is it's called Stops Bleeding, and it's FDA cleared, and it's endorsed by Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk.
All
But
right.
it is designed for stopping bleeding. I mean, this stuff, you can dump this into an arterial bleed, put pressure on it, and it will stop an arterial bleed.
Wow.
It's the same stuff as Quick Clot. I picked this up at Walmart.
No kidding.
Yeah, Walmart carries this. So I keep 2 packets of that with me. And then, I don't know if you ever seen this, but this is called a SAM splint. You can unroll this, and it's an aluminum, and you can form it to create basically a splint or kind of like a cast, and then you can wrap it with like the my rubber strap and make it into like a cast to get you to a hospital if you have broken bones. Then I carry a set of forceps, for locking onto things. If you have to do anything to where you got to stop a tear or a cut, you can use these to clamp it off and hold it until you can get to a hospital. I also carry EMT shears for cutting bandages or whatever else I need to cut. You never know when you're going to have to cut something or cut clothes off or whatever to get to a wounded portion, Then this is one of my first aid kits that I carry. And I carry in here, I've got a large, heavy absorbent bandage. This is a 8x7 bandage. I'll fold it out so you can get an idea of the size of it. But that's an 8x7 bandage.
Wow.
And it's high absorbent for just about anything. Then I carry another set of forceps in here. I carry some silk tape. I carry some Vaseline, which you can use Vaseline for, like, if somebody has bad sunburn or chapped lips or whatever, you can get that on there to get it to calm down. You can also pack Vaseline into a cut to help stem a bleed.
No kidding.
Then I carry 4x4 bandages. I'm just going to go through this. I got to repack this all back in here. But this is a 4x4 bandage. And then I also carry swabs for sting relief. This is what this is called. Sting relief swabs. And a Cara-Absorb, a 2x2 bandage. I dropped my stuff here. I carry a little multi-pocket knife with scissors integrated into it. This is just one little pouch that I carry all this in. And I carry a small set of forceps. And I just carry a number of other bandages, same size, large bandages. I got another 8x7 in here. And then I carry these are Vaseline bandages. And what I carry these for is in case you have I'll hold them up here. In case you have a sucking chest wound, which means the peritoneum has been punctured and your lungs are trying to deflate. You can take and put this over the wound or bullet hole or whatever, and it will seal that wound to where you can maintain the pressure inside your peritoneum cavity.
Wow.
So good things to have.
Amazing.
More bandages. These are more 4x4s. And, like I said, I got a bunch of other bandages, just repeating of what I've got in bandages. And let me go here. This is my smaller kit. This has more like Band-Aids, smaller, less traumatic. I also keep another 8x7 in here, but this is mostly Band-Aids just regular small cut and small Band-Aid first aid stuff. But that's what I carry in there. That's right in the front, right where I can get at it, where in an emergency, it's right there, boom, everything is ready to get at. Then we move over to my middle pack. And my middle pack is kind of more geared towards checking out where I'm going, longer distance, binoculars. I carry a set of binoculars. They're not a name brand, but they're good. I bought them at Sportsman Warehouse. They're their house brand for binoculars. They work really well. They have a nice large eye relief, so they're really easy to utilize. Okay. Then we move on. This is my communications pack. This I keep it's a 6 meter, 7 centimeter ham radio. You're not allowed to use a ham radio without a license unless you're in an emergency. So if you're in an emergency, this is something you can use to communicate with. And look how small that is.
Wow. That is amazing.
And
that's smaller than a walk.
This has a about a 10 to 20 mile range.
Oh my gosh.
And if you're able to get it onto a repeater, your range then becomes unlimited, because you can actually use the keypad on the front of this to get onto a repeater station, and then you can use the keypad to dial phone numbers from the keypad from the repeater station and make phone calls with it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the antenna on.
What's the price on one of those, Bob?
Okay, well, you're sitting down, right? All right. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
$26.
Oh, you just broke my bank. That's cheaper than a cell phone.
I mean, and the nice thing is you can actually tune this in to police, fire, and emergency bands, and you can listen to what's going on with the fire departments, and you can get special special information, like if there's alerts that are going out for emergency disasters, anything like that. And it's a two-way communication at that time. If you pick up a police call or you pick up a fire department, you can, in an emergency, you can key up. You can say, hey, this is so-and-so. You know, I'm on this ham radio. I'm not licensed, but I am calling in. I am in an emergency situation. Can you please send help to my location? Here's my approximate location, blah, blah, blah. And you can get yourself out of trouble with this little $26 radio.
Now, where would you pick one of those up at?
I actually bought this one off of Wish for $26.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then this guy, it came with a headset with a microphone. So if you're in a crowd and you don't want people, you want to listen to what's going on without triggering other people or whatever, you can put this in your ears so that you're the only one hearing the information. And then you can, meet out what information you want to give people. So, you want to be the person that knows the way to get home. Figure out how to get home, how to do this, and this is one of the tools that you use to get yourself out of trouble and get yourself home.
All
You know,
right.
the I am in the process of taking. I'm studying to get my ham radio operator's license, so that I can use this and I can get more practice with it, so I'm more comfortable using it. So, but in an emergency, you can use a ham radio. In an emergency, you can listen in to find out what's going on with law enforcement, fire department, disaster preparedness, you know, where they're setting up FEMA camps, where they're helping people out, where you can go to volunteer your services if you need to, to help people out, help with the community. I always keep a magazine of 9mm for a Glock. I use the longer magazine, the one for a 17, and I can put this in my no, I can put this in my 19, my Glock 19, and I have 17 rounds. I'm using lead cast in it because lead cast will work better for basically small game or even large game in an emergency. So that's why I use the lead cast. Well, that's everything in that pocket. And then this is the large pocket. And what I usually do is, depending on where I'm going to be going, I will, and how far I'm away from home or whatnot, I will put clothes in here. An extra change of pants, a shirt, heavy duty clothes. I always keep a stocking cap, because it might be warm in the day, but at night the temperatures can drop down to almost freezing, and you can lose 90% of your heat through your head. So I always keep that in there. I keep a fixed blade knife, not a really big one. It's just it's a good quality fixed blade knife made by Boker. And it's just a nice size. It's not too big. It's not too small. It can get most camp jobs done. It can, if you had to skin a deer, you can skin a deer with it. It's a multi-use fixed blade knife. And then inside here, I keep my fire kit. My fire kit, it has all the stuff I can use to get a campfire going in any situation. And I keep things like this is just a Ziploc baggie, and it has dryer lint in it for starting fires. I also keep some wood matches in there that I can get to and use. Then I keep an assortment of paper and stuff like that. I keep in here, this is a bit of it's a what is it called? Magnesium. And you take and you can shave the magnesium off onto whatever you want to start a fire with. And magnesium burns at 4,000 degrees. So even if what you've got is wet, if you can get magnesium shaved off and into it, it will start a fire. I also carry a extra thing of petroleum jelly, because petroleum jelly will light and burn. I keep dry fire tabs. These are all the information I've worn off on them, but that's for starting a fire. And then I keep an extra It's got a ferrocerium rod on it, and it's more magnesium. There's a rule of thumb when you're dealing with emergency preparedness, which is 1 is none and 2 is 1. So if you have 2 of something, you're not going to be without something. And I keep that in there, and then I keep a large ferrocerium rod with a striker on it. I mean, I put this in there, and okay, there we go. I don't know if you can see the sparks from it, but it'll throw a good spark. It throws a good spark. It'll get a fire going, even if you're wet, and I just keep an assortment of fire starters in there. That's everything in my fire bag. Then I keep a couple of 55-gallon drum liners, industrial strength. That's what this is. These are invaluable. You can use these as a raincoat. You can use these as a shelter to sleep under. You can use these to catch water to drink. Whatever you need. You've got cover with these, and they're big. I mean, they're really large. And then I carry several of the aluminum space blankets, which reflect your heat back onto you. Or if you get a fire going, you can put this behind you, and it'll reflect heat from the fire to your back and you can warm your front and your back at the same time. It's just stuff to keep you warm, alive, and comfortable. And like I said, here's another. I keep 2 rolls, and I think there's 2 55-gallon drum liners per roll. So there's 4 55-gallon drum liners. Then I keep some paracord, which this is kind of a neat paracord because it will also burn. So you can cut a section of this, light it on fire, and it burns kind of like a candle, and it allows you to get a continuous heat going to where you can get wet material to burn while in any situation. And that's everything that's in there. And just an aside to keep keep everything in context. I throw a Bible into my get myself home bag, just to keep things focused.
That's essential.
So that's what I keep in my get myself home bag.
Man, well, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed, Bob. The only thing, your medical kit is just outstanding. But what's your weight you're looking at on your pack?
I'm looking at probably about, even with my binoculars, I'm looking at about 10 pounds.
Not bad at all. That's outstanding.
I try to keep the weight down so that I have some physical limitations, and so I keep this to where I can still carry it even with my physical limitations.
The only thing, I think you covered almost everything except for one thing.
What's that?
Between my time in the Sky Lakes Basin in Alaska, I've been in mosquito storms before. And one thing, oh yeah, one thing I found that is absolutely essential to a pack is any kind of mosquito repellent you can get your hands on. That being said, if you know you're going into mosquito territory, I learned a trick that works really well. Cut down on your sugar intake a week before you go in, and eat as much garlic as you can stand, because garlic in your bloodstream repels the mosquitoes along with everything else.
Isn't it amazing that garlic stops bloodsuckers?
Yeah, I've never run into vampires, so I can't comment on that one. The only vampire I know
Yeah,
is
I
your
know.
ex-wife.
Ah, yeah, you know my ex-wife.
I'm sorry I had to throw that in there, Bobo.
Oh man, yeah, and there's the let's see, is it the rule of K's? You need a cutting tool, or the no, the rule of C: cutting tool, combustion device, and cover. Those are the three things you need. And normally when I'm out and about, I usually have water with me and stuff like that, but I carry that with me no matter what. I usually have a water jug with me, and I can throw my water jug into this pack and I'm good to go. I tend to use stainless steel water jugs because you can take a stainless steel jug with the plastic cap off, and you can set it in the fire and you can boil the water to purify it.
All right.
Just helps, keep you going.
Yeah. Well, you want to call that a wrap on our pack episode?
Yeah, if that works for you, man.
All right.
It's just, and the thing about a pack, for getting you home, is don't get bogged down with one thing or another. Try to keep it flexible. Try to set up your pack to your environment, to where you're going to be. Like during the wintertime, I usually have more. I put some cold weather gear in, more stuff like that. And during the summer, I don't use so much. I rotate in and out. I do use a bug net that I can put over my head, over my hat, and that'll keep that out. I also put in when I'm going out during the summertime, I put in a wide brim boonie hat in my pack so that when I'm moving, it just depends on what your environment's going to be for the time you're going to be out and about, and and the distance you got to travel to get yourself home. I got to take a drink here.
Man, well, I got to say, Bobo, talking to you and hearing, seeing your pack, that was educational, man. I appreciated your medical kit, especially.
I'm adding to the medical kit. I recently was able to purchase some suture kits to where I can put them in there, and they're already packed suture material with the needles already attached to them. So that takes my level to where I can suture up gaping wounds. So
Man.
to get back, like if I'm farther away from the hospital, I can go ahead and suture up a wound to get me back to civilization.
Man, so you're the guy I want to run into if I have any kind of trouble out there where I get hurt.
Well, Tim, a lot of times I wear a baseball cap that has the insignia for emergency first responders, and it says "I fix stupid."
Oh, nice. Uh,
And back when we used to hunt a lot together, I always, it's pretty much the same loadout that I carry every day is the same loadout that I carry when I'm up hunting. I add a little bit of food to it, and it allows, more time out in the bush.
yeah.
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 So,
I like
yeah.
it. That was pretty impressive.
Back when we were hunting together, I mean, if you got hurt, I knew what to do.
Yeah, and if anybody was gonna get hurt, it was probably gonna be me.
Oh, yeah, well, you never know what can happen at any given time. I mean, you can be going along, everything's cool, and all of a sudden, everything can go upside down on you. So if you're prepared, well,
I would.
there, Tim.
Yeah, I
I
would
just
like.
lost you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Hey, let me see what I did here.
Super Trucker Bobo, you got a copy over?
I'm there. I'm talking. Can
Copy
you
that.
still hear me?
I read you loud and proud, wall to wall and treetop tall.
All right. Well, I think I hit a wrong button while I was sitting here talking with you. And it took me all the way back to the beginning here.
Well, guys, basically, I'm happy to have Bob doing this with me. We've been hunting and recreating together for years. We've been trucking together, and when we were doing long haul, we had plenty of BS time, and we used to BS about doing this and putting this show together. Now,
I got you back.
I wanted to bring up one memory from our last hunting trip. Basically, all
Okay.
the guys put me in a trailer with Bob, rooming with Bob, because he had a reputation for passing gas. Well, that night, between the two of us ripping them, I just remember about 4 o'clock in the morning seeing Bob bail out of there because he had more than met his match.
Yeah, I was wondering what the sound was of the little thumps on the roof. And then I realized the vent was up above us and Tim was knocking squirrels out of the trees with his gas.
Oh, that pizza and hot dogs will do it to me every time, man.
Oh, that's it. Along with the wild turkey.
Oh man. On one of our camping trips, this was one of our first ones. I don't know if you remember this. I had eaten an entire box of Idaho Spud bars, and then I went and chowed down a whole bunch of crab that we had caught. And then I went and drank about as many beers as I could put down, and I ended up puking and just about painting that whole campsite with all that stuff I ate that night.
Yeah, well, with the crab and the beer, that's called sea foam.
Oh,
Yeah, not a pretty sight.
Oh man.
And hey, live and learn.
I figure if you
Yeah.
learn from your screw ups, then I'm an educational experience happening every day.
That's true, Tim. You are an educational paragon.
Uh,
And I mean that in a warm, loving Christian way.
well, it's kind of like if you didn't mess with me, I would know something was wrong.
That's right. If I don't tease you, I'm sitting there going, am I going to die? Uh, well, I'll do an old trucking goodbye.
All right, here we
You know,
go.
keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down. Keep your wheels out the ditches and the smokies off your britches, because I'd rather talk to you than read about you.
All right. I remember that one. All right, Bobo, until next time, bud. Hey guys, Tim here, and you'll hear me and Bob talk quite a bit about packs and different ideas that the two of us have concerning packs. I wanted to share some of mine with you today. You'll hear a lot of people tell you a lot of different things, and they'll tell you, you need this, you need that, you absolutely have to have this. But what I've learned over time, and I've done this for a lot of years, and I've developed all my gear around an area in Southern Oregon called the Sky Lakes Basin. It's an extremely harsh, and it's some pretty serious business in there. We've been hit by freak blizzards, quicksand, hornets, bears, rattlesnakes, and flash floods, you name it. And mosquito storms, believe it or not. So all of our gear, between me and my buddy Roy and my buddy Bob, we developed around the Sky Lakes Basin, because we figured anything that could happen to us in there is going to be covered anywhere else we could possibly go. Anyhow, what I've learned over time, and even packing in that area, is to get rid of the things you don't need. Once you figure out what you do need, try to scale down, lighten up your pack. You don't need a whole lot of things. All I have in here, this is what I would commonly call a day pack, and you know, I have a few amenities in here, so just in case I was stranded overnight, or a few nights, or even a week, I could get by. I've got a Leatherman tool in here, and it has quite a bit of different functions for me. I've got a powerful flashlight. I've got a backup flashlight, and I just do not like magnesium starters, so I just use a common lighter, and then I have a backup lighter. This is a drinking straw that it's got a filter, and I can drink right straight out of a muddy mud puddle, and I could be just fine with that. One of your most important tools when you're out there, compass. Never go out without a compass. And what you can do with your compass, and so I have a Camel pack of water that's in this pack, and I don't need a whole lot of water. I don't even have to fill it the whole way to go in there. And what I wanted to share with you is, I hunt in one of the nastiest deserts in Oregon. It's dry and it's desolate, it's hot and it's sweltering. But I don't need to pack a lot of water, because I can navigate my way through on this map, and I know where all the springs are, I know where all the creeks are, and if I need water in a pinch, as long as I don't lose my bearing, I'm good. And I refill my water while I'm out there in the field. And you have to know your water sources, what water is safe, what water can you use, and try to figure that out ahead of time. So where you're either going to bug out, or the area where you're going to be hunting, that you're going to be in, know everything, all the aspects about where you're going. Okay. All right, an older guy gave me some of these, and it's a lidocaine patches, and this is for your back or your legs when you get out there. You've walked for a long time and you're sore. I don't know why I have that, to tell you the truth. And now here's something. I've used lotion a lot because the desert sucks the moisture right out of your skin, and lip balm is nice to have too. It's nice to be comfortable while you're out there. Now I've got a hat for the sun, and I've got my heavy gloves for freezing temperatures. I've got a very basic first aid kit, and I've got some tablets that I can drop in water if I need to clean water in a pinch. But that's really is about it. Besides that, I carry a few hunting knives and my pistol in here, and that's really it. That's all I need for what I would consider a bug out pack. Besides just a little bit of food, some snacks, jerky, different things, some fruit, yeah, just to get me by. Okay guys, now this is a different story. This is a pack for a week. If I'm planning on being in the wilderness for a week, which I've done in the Sky Lakes Basin. And you're going to be doing a lot of walking. So try to keep as much weight off of you as possible. Just take the things you need. This right here, this is my tent. That's it. It hardly takes up any room in there. My tent is tiny. This is my sleeping bag. 2.5 pounds, small, easy to pack. Got my toothbrush, lotion, my comb, amenities, everything in here that I need for that. In case I get hit by a freak rainstorm, which has happened out there, I've got my rain jacket, and I've got an emergency tent, emergency blanket, and a floaty. Believe it or not, you wouldn't think one of these would come in handy, but I've had to float my pack and me across a body of water to save time. Okay. Now here's something that I've come to really like. This is all I use to prepare my food. This is called a military mess pan, and check that out. You got your frying pan, and you got your serving tray. And this might seem kind of cheesy, but I've got my spoon, my fork, my corkscrew, bottle opener, can opener, everything's right in here. Okay, and here's some waterproof pants. I don't really need this anymore. I think I'm gonna park this. This is one thing that like I was explaining, dump as much weight as you can. This is a military parka. It doesn't work that well. Anyway, I've got a beanie. Now this is important. Never go anywhere. Never go out in the office without the paperwork. In case it's cold, I've got this is a very warm jacket, but it's very compressible. This can keep you comfortable in a storm. Orange tape. If I'm lost, I need to tape different areas that I've been so I don't circle back and end up covering the same territory that I've already been in. Now this I actually like these. A lot of people would say this is outdated, but man, do they work, and I still love it. This is from the 1960s, and it goes on just like this. They're warm, and they don't take up a lot of room in your pack either. I've got a little bit of soap. In this pocket I've got my first aid. It's a bit more advanced than my my day pack first aid because I'm going to be out there at risk for quite a bit longer. This pocket, this is all my fire starting equipment in here, and I've got quite a bit of that, and I've got backup fire equipment as well. I've got my flashlights in here. This is all flashlights. Here, all fishing equipment for you never know. I'm always going to be around some kind of a lake or a pond. I can always take advantage of the resource of fishing when I have to. But this is the key, and here's some other important things that you can have in your pack as well. Winter survival manual. I have several survival guides in here. I have a guide on what kind of plants to avoid, what are poisonous, what look like they could be good but they're not. Here you go. You see an airplane? Boom. That could help you out. Now here's something else I have is a pad for writing notes and keeping track of different things. A notepad. It's nice to have a notepad. And I keep that right on the top here, and this is good for any information you want to keep track. You can go back and look at some of the information that may have not crossed your mind at the time, vital information that you could need. Besides that, you know, this is an older pack, so it has a metal frame, but it's what's comfortable to me. I really like this pack. I've had it for about 25 years, and this is what I'm sticking with. I have to pack my own water in here, but I don't need a lot because, again, everywhere I go, I always have maps, and I pre-track everything ahead of time, so I know where all the natural springs are going to be in all the creeks. Anyhow, these are just some ideas that I have for you, and I hope some of this helps you out. Hey guys, Tim here. I wanted to talk about some things I like to carry in my pack. Now, what do you do if you're in the woods and you have absolutely no way to weld, and it's imperative that you weld something, and you have no welding equipment, nothing? What do you do? Well, this is a little item called Caldweld, and I'll show you how this works. And this is usually about the time some guy burns himself up on YouTube, but I'm going to try not to be that guy. Okay, so here's our two adjoining pieces of metal that we need to weld here. There we go. All right. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. That is a weld, and I didn't even burn myself up like the jackasses on YouTube. I did pretty good. And that thing is hot. Oh man, look at that. It burned into the brick, and I dare not touch it right now. But man, I'll tell you what, it just liquefied that metal. Got to be real careful. Clearly I used too much. Next time I'll use about a quarter of that amount. But really handy stuff out in the field.